Grizzly bear. Now picture this, an animal that can decapitate a moose with one swipe. The grizzly bear isn't just powerful, it's ridiculously, impossibly powerful. One paw swipe delivers 1,200 pounds of force. That's the weight of a grand piano hitting you at full speed. Skulls collapse. Spines shatter. Game over. But the real horror? Their claws. 4 inches long, curved like scimitars, harder than your fingernails could ever dream of being. They don't just scratch. They excavate. Grizzlies dig through frozen ground like it's made of sand, flipping over 300-pound boulders to find a single meal. They can smell food from 20 miles away. They can run 35 miles per hour uphill. And they can drag an 800-pound elk carcass with their teeth like you'd carry a grocery bag. Here's what shouldn't be possible. Grizzlies have been documented bending steel bear traps with their bare paws and ripping car doors off hinges. We're talking about engineered metal designed to contain them, and they treat it like aluminum foil. Oh, and their bite force? 975 psi, enough to crush a bowling ball-sized skull into fragments. You cannot outrun them. You cannot outclimb them. You cannot hide from them. The grizzly bear is what happens when nature decides something needs to be unstoppable. Great white shark. Let's go underwater. The great white shark is 20 feet of perfectly engineered death. 400 million years of evolution, all focused on one goal: hunt. Their bite force peaks at 4,000 psi. Read that again. 4,000 pounds per square inch. That's twice what a lion can deliver, enough to bite through steel, enough to end anything in a single snap. But here's what makes them supernatural: their teeth. They have 300 of them arranged in rows, and when one breaks, another rolls forward like a conveyor belt of nightmares. They go through 30,000 teeth in a lifetime. Each tooth is serrated like a steak knife. They don't just bite. They saw. When a great white bites, it shakes its head violently, carving through flesh, bone, and muscle, like a chainsaw made of calcium. They can detect a single drop of blood in 25 million drops of water. That's like sensing 1 second in 32 years. And they can feel electrical impulses from your heartbeat. Even if you're perfectly still, perfectly silent, perfectly hidden, they know you're there because they can sense the electricity your body generates just by being alive. Here's the impossible part. Great whites can breach 10 feet out of the water while carrying a 400-pound seal in their jaws. That's 2,000 pounds of muscle launching itself into the sky like gravity forgot to show up. They don't hunt. They ambush. They calculate. They wait. The great white shark is what fear looks like when it evolves fins. Silverback gorilla. Now imagine the strongest man you know. A silverback gorilla is 20 times stronger. They can lift 1,800 pounds over their head. That's a small car. That's a grand piano. That's you and everyone you know stacked on top of each other. Their arms are longer than their entire body and packed with muscle density that human genetics can't even approach. One gorilla arm is thicker than both of your legs combined. But here's where it gets insane. A silverback has the strength to crush a human skull like a grape. One hand, one squeeze, gone. That's the kind of raw power we're talking about. Silverbacks have been observed bending steel bars in captivity. They've ripped through reinforced glass. They've torn apart structures designed by engineers specifically to contain them. And they're fast. A 400-pound silverback can sprint at 25 miles per hour and climb 40 feet up a tree in seconds. All that power, all that mass, and they move like shadows. Here's the terrifying part. They're gentle. Silverbacks are protective, intelligent, family-oriented. They don't want to hurt you, but if you threaten their family, They become walking avalanches. They charge. They beat their chest. And that chest beating? It's not a bluff. It's a warning. It's them being merciful. The silverback gorilla is proof that real power doesn't need to prove itself. Anaconda. Let's talk about something that kills without claws, without venom, without teeth that matter. The green anaconda kills with pure pressure. They grow up to 20 feet long and weigh 550 pounds of solid muscle. Every inch of them is a coil waiting to tighten. And when they wrap around you, physics takes over. Anacondas are constrictors. They don't crush your bones. They're smarter than that. They wait for you to exhale, then tighten. You breathe out. They squeeze. You breathe out again. They squeeze more. Eventually, your lungs can't expand. Your heart can't pump. Game over. They can exert 90 psi of pressure per square inch across your entire body. That's the equivalent of having a school bus parked on your chest. Your rib cage collapses inward like a tin can. But here's what's truly horrifying. They're ambush predators in water. They wait at the river's edge, submerged, invisible. You don't see them until they're already around you. And once they've got you, anacondas can hold their breath for 10 minutes underwater. They'll drag you down and wait. Just wait. While you drown. While they squeeze. Here's the mind-blowing fact. Anacondas have been found with jaguars inside them. Fully grown, 200-pound apex predators, swallowed whole. They ate a predator that eats predators. The anaconda doesn't roar, doesn't growl, doesn't announce itself. It just wraps around you. And then it's over. Rhinoceros. Picture a freight train made of bone and rage. The rhinoceros weighs 3 tons. That's 6,000 pounds of horn, hide, and hostility. And all of that mass can charge at 35 miles per hour. Do the math. 3 tons moving at 35 miles per hour generates 8,000 pounds of force on impact. They've been documented flipping Land Rovers, destroying safari vehicles, making everything except elephants run for their lives. The only thing a rhino fears is an elephant. Everything else gets out of the way. Their horn isn't bone. It's compressed keratin, the same stuff as your hair and fingernails. Except this keratin is packed so densely, so tightly, it can pierce steel. Rhinos have gored through engine blocks. But here's what makes them unstoppable. Their skin. It's 2 inches thick in some places. Kevlar-like. Bulletproof in many cases. They've survived attacks from lions, hyenas, crocodiles, and walked away without a scratch. And they're nearly blind. That's the terrifying part. Rhinos can only see about 30 feet ahead of them. So when they hear a threat, they don't investigate. They don't assess. They charge. Full speed. In whatever direction they think the danger is. Here's the fact that shouldn't be real. A rhino's horn grows back if it's removed. Like a fingernail. You can't disarm them permanently. The rhinoceros is a biological battering ram that's been running at threats for 50 million years. And it's never learned to stop. Polar bear. Now we go to the Arctic, where the largest land carnivore on Earth is hunting. The polar bear weighs 1,500 pounds. It stands 10 feet tall on its hind legs, and it is always hungry. Their paws are 12 inches across. Dinner plates made of claws and calluses. One swipe can decapitate a seal. They've been observed killing beluga whales. Whales. They dragged a 2,000-pound whale onto the ice and ate it. Polar bears have 42 teeth, including canines that measure 3 inches long. Their bite force reaches 1/200 psi. They bite through whale blubber like you'd bite through butter. But here's the supernatural part: their sense of smell. Polar bears can smell a seal under 3 feet of solid ice from 20 miles away. They can detect a carcass from 40 miles downwind. They hunt by waiting at breathing holes in the ice. Completely still, completely silent. For hours, days sometimes. And when a seal surfaces for air, the polar bear strikes in one explosive motion. The seal doesn't even see it coming. Here's what defies logic. Polar bears swim for days without stopping. They've been tracked swimming 400 miles in a single journey across open ocean. They're endurance hunters in an environment that kills everything else. And their fur? It's not white, it's translucent. Each hair is a hollow tube that traps heat like insulation. They're heat-trapping masterpieces, built to stay warm in negative 40-degree winds. The polar bear is proof that power adapts to its environment. And in the Arctic, nothing is more powerful. Thanks for watching.